Hello friends and followers, I hope you've been good since the last episode. This is special episode 8, 18th of May 2017. Today I'm going to talk about some weird experiences I had in my life. Only a few people know about them, some close friends and of course my mother. It's the sort of thing people laugh at when they hear it, and I can try and tell them that it really happened. It changes your whole reality on things when you have these experiences, and it opens up your mind to question and find more answers, because it's a real mystery, this world that we live in, well, the universe we live in. This is me as a teen kid, and this is the house, double-story house that I grew up in. My parents was in the second story, it's directly above, and I was the bedroom directly below near the front door. One night Dad went away and Mum didn't like to sleep alone in the above bedroom, so she asked me to sleep with her that night so it wasn't so creepy. I think it was a cold windy night that night, and the top of the place was creaking around with the wind, and I was laying there looking at the stripy ceiling, trying to fall asleep, but I couldn't fall asleep, so I just laid there staring at the ceiling. It had this stripy brown pattern on the ceiling. Without warning, I felt like I was weightlessly approaching the ceiling, and it was getting closer and closer to me. I didn't know what was going on, and then suddenly I was like face smack in the ceiling, and I thought, this is weird. It was like 2 inches away, and I could see the stripe was really big. I felt trapped and pinned on the ceiling. I sort of panicked a bit, so I lifted up my hand and I could feel the ceiling, and I thought, this is strange, and I pushed trying to get away from the ceiling, and I suddenly flipped around. Here's another view, and instead of me slowly coming back down, I saw myself laying in the bed, and suddenly I felt instantly back in my body, and I jumped with a big, like I've been shot, and my mum rumbled and slapped me across the chest saying, keep still. So I just laid there in shock, because she was trying to sleep and I was trying to work out what happened, and of course I was shaken, and I turned on my side, and because I couldn't bear to look at the ceiling in case it happened again. And I don't believe I died or anything like that, but somehow I managed to pop out what they call out-of-body experience, and being a young kid it was quite scary, and it sort of got forgotten about, but I always remember that situation, and it's never left me for my whole life. And I did know about out-of-body experiences back then. That wasn't the sort of thing you saw on TV back in those days, and we didn't have internet, and I don't think we even had a computer back in those days, and we probably just had a black and white TV even back in those days. So yeah, I turned on my side and eventually I fell asleep again, but I've never had the experience again and never been able to create the same effect, although there are plenty of stories on Art Bell and on chat radio that they have people come on and talk about their own experiences like this, where they can get out of body on command. I never did tell Mum the story, but I think I may have told a friend or two a few years back now, probably 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm not religious in any sense, so I wasn't spiritual or religious back then, and I suppose with the paranormal stuff, not just a skeptic or scientist view, but I also have openness to the idea that there's more that going on than we know about. So 10 years on, when I'm about 21, 22, I start experimenting around with negative ion generators. I don't know if you know about them, but they freshen the air, and they put a negative charge on oxygen, which creates ozone as well, and it tracks to the pollution in the air, and can help you heal skin faster and keep allergies lower, and air pollution out of your room that you got it working in. So I bought one of these $100 devices from what we called Dick Smith at the time, and it was like the cheapest one around, and it really pumped out the negative ions into the room. You could feel it. It was like being in a thunderstorm with all that static charged air around you. So yeah, you can get other ones now that are like 10 times the price for about $1,000. They're no better than the $100 one. So the black one is what I got from Australia. Well, actually it's from Australia, but I bought it in New Zealand. And the green one is similar to design, but 10 times the price. So like me, I experimented around with the device, and eventually I put it close to my bedside, so it was pumping more ions over me, and I slept deeper and better for the result of it. I would recommend people give it a try themselves. But I started having these vivid dreams that I could remember when I woke up, and I had 3 I could particularly remember which come true. It might have been many months when it happened, or even years. And I remember that's almost like you go into slow motion when it happens, that you feel like you've been here, done that scenario. Sadly, a friend come round and stuck his finger on one of the needles that makes the ions, and got sapped, and it destroyed the electronics on the device, so it stopped working. So I really missed it. So I've tried to buy similar ones from Hong Kong, China, but they never last more than a couple of months and break, and they've never been as good. And I've never been able to find a replacement one of this device. I'm not sure if they make them anymore, probably because the Chinese market flooded the system now. So I never had any of the dreams reoccur, and I naturally thought maybe this device was something to do with the vivid dreams that come true. Perhaps Nostradamus used something similar. Who knows? I haven't really thought about it before, but maybe it's linked to Mandela Effect, what they call ME, where you have changes in your reality to what you remember. The first dream I remember, unfortunately it wasn't the lotto numbers, was I was out in town with my best friend and his new woman, who's now his wife, and we were walking along the Avon River, which is some pictures here what Avon River and the city looks like. It has these dandelion water fountains that look very pretty at night time, and the river that runs through the city, they have like boats that tourists hire and punt along the river. So it's known as, my city is known as the Garden City. So the first dream I recall was that we were going nightclubbing, and my mate met this guy, which is a new friend or acquaintance of his, and we were walking along the river, and then I felt all giddy, and when I got to a particular spot and thing, my vision of my dream popped into my head there, and I thought, wow, what just happened? I've been here before on this particular night, same scenario. And I worked out the dreams were many warnings of things to come, decisions that you have to choose and take the right path in life. Well, apparently this guy got done for GST fraud, which is tax evasion, and it was warning me not to get too friendly with this guy, I think. Now I think about it, I think my friend asked me if I was alright when the situation happened, and I said, yep, I'm good, and we carried on walking. He just thought I was drunk, and I told him about the dreams years later, but he just laughed and didn't take it too seriously. He's like the greatest skeptic alive. So yeah, so that's why I don't really tell people about it, but it's something amazing, I thought. I didn't think much of it until the next dream come true, and I thought, wow, there's something going on here. So my next dream was about a girl I was dating, and there was a particular night we went out and we bumped into her sister, and it all went slow-mo again, and I was sort of like maybe spaced out to them, but the flash of dream come into my head that I'd been to the situation before, and I've never been to that part of the town before, especially at night time anyway. But it turned out the warning there was that she was going to turn out to be a bit of a psycho woman, as a lot of the guys probably can relate to out there with psycho girlfriends, and it was warning me to keep away from her because it was going to be disastrous. But I probably didn't listen to the warning soon enough. The last dream I remember that come true, and it probably was just before the device got broken, was years later, and I head off to Australia to do computer work as a contractor, and I was earning quite good money, and I was living alone, but I got a job interview with this company, and I went to this big all glass building, high rise, and it overlooked the Brisbane River in Queensland, Australia. And the warning of that job interview turned out to be that the company I was going to get employed with was going to destroy my career for good. And sadly enough, again, I didn't heed the warning, but after the fact you look back and say, damn, that dream warned me that this was going to be a bad situation. So there you go. It's a shame I still don't have that particular device, because I could have done with some warnings working with some people on the web, as you probably already know about. I've had some problems again. My whole life I've had bullies in my life. Doesn't matter if it's workplace, school or web. So watch out for them, people, because they're everywhere. Well, I hope you enjoyed this special episode that I put together. And if anyone out there has similar experiences, they could maybe put them in the comments and we can discuss it further. Hit the like button on the video will help Google get it searched more often. It's not just a cosmetic function as some people believe. And stay safe, and until next episode, have a good night.